This is lesson 72 for course 1, Saxon Math. What I wanted to show you first is this is in your book, a little bit nicer than I have it written out here, but this is the fractions chart that it wants you to look at. All this tells you is the steps to take when you're solving different fractions. So if you're solving addition or subtraction, you follow these steps. If you're following in multiplication or division, you follow these steps. And they're all steps that we've gone over before. So in this one, when you have, first thing you have to do is write the fraction with common denominators. You need to make sure your fractions have common denominators for addition and subtraction. Then you add or subtract just the numerator, because of course the denominator just carries over as being the bottom number. And then your final step is you reduce the fraction or convert it from an improper fraction. Division and multiplication, you start with writing the numerators in fraction form, or numbers in fraction form. What this means is if you had a whole number like 4, you'd be writing it as a fraction, okay? Same thing as, yes, they're writing it as fractions, preferably probably improper fractions if you have any mixed numbers as well. With times tables, you then cancel out. That's the cancel method we did a couple lessons ago. Division, you make sure you have the reciprocal for the divisor, and then you start your canceling. For both, you multiply the numerator and then multiply the denominator. And then you reduce the fraction and convert it from an improper fraction. So those are for both sets of fractions. Okay, that's what the chart is telling you what to do. Okay, that is the purpose of it. So if you ever need a reminder of what you're supposed to do for any of these, you can look back at this lesson, and the chart is inside your book within your lesson, within all of your lessons. Okay, so what the lesson wants you to look at other than that chart is it wants you to look at multiplying 3 fractions. So following those steps, if we have the fractions 2/3 times 1 3/5 times 3/4, the first step you need to do is you need to convert your numbers into fractions. Okay, well, there's my number. I need to put it into a fraction, which means I need to make this an improper fraction. So 1 is actually 5/5 in this case because the denominator is 5. So I'm taking that 5, the numerator, and I'm adding it to the 3, which gives me 8. And this 1 can now go away because I've dealt with it. So we now have 2/3 times 8/5 times 3/4. All right, I can start my cancellation. So I have to cancel diagonally. I can cancel 8 and 4. I can divide both of those by 4, and I'll get 1 and 2. I can cancel, let me see, 3 and 3 I can cancel. They're both 3s. Those can turn into 1s. I divide them both. 2 and 5 I can't do much with. Well, that's about it. So that leaves me with 2 times 2 times 1. So that gives me 4 over 1 times 5 times 1, which gives me 5. So it gives me 4/5. Now this is already in lowest terms. It's not an improper fraction, so I don't need to convert it. So this is my final answer. And this is timesing 3 fractions. You're doing all the same steps. You're just doing it with more fractions. Remember, when you're canceling, you have to be doing it on a diagonal. So I can't cancel side to side. It has to be from a bottom to a top. And it can be a bottom from a top, so from this bottom to this top, but it has to be within that diagonal. Doesn't matter which one you do it in, just has to be on the diagonal. That was lesson 72, fractions chart and multiplying 3 fractions together.